Welcome back to the Stephen Knight Show. Our next guest is the creator of Trinidad and Tobago's leading production company, Precision Productions. He is now based in LA and kicking off his interest into the mainstream market with an explosive new project alongside the one and only Ciara. Please help me welcome the very talented Kasey Phillips. Welcome to the show.
Hey man, what's up? Thank you for having me.
Definitely appreciate taking time out your schedule.
Of
Now,
course, of
listen,
course.
you are the son of acclaimed producer Kenny Phillips.
Yes, sir.
Tell us how having him as your father inspired or influenced your love for music and producing.
Well, my dad is, well, back then was and is still a producer, engineer, guitarist. So I was pretty much born into the studio. I mean, both my
Yeah.
mom and dad supported me being in the studio. I mean, my dad did music, and that was kind of the main thing in our household. And I just
Yeah.
started really young. Started crawling in the studio, looking on from really young, from Pampers,
Yeah.
and to the point where I guess I started messing with stuff when he would leave the studio and trying to figure out my own things, breaking stuff, and
Yeah.
having to figure out how to fix it, and calling him like, "Hey, I think I messed up somehow to fix this." Fast forward a few years, the tables turned where he started to call me to fix things because I
Ah.
started to figure out the workings of the studio and signal flow and all
Yeah.
these things. So yeah, those are my foundation years from both my
Right.
mom and my dad being involved so heavy in music.
And I've heard you produce your first song when you were 10 years old.
Yes, sir.
Wow. 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 Tell us about that.
I mean, at that age, it was just probably the first check I got, and I didn't know what to do with it. But luckily, my mom and dad met in the bank. My mom was heavy in the bank and in that system, so she was the one who kind of guided me and advised me in terms of money and finances. Because at that age, I had no clue. I was doing it as a hobby. It was fun.
Right.
So
Right.
getting that
Right.
check, I was like, "Oh, sure, this is the most money I ever got at that
Exactly.
time." And at that
Right.
young, at that age, and she was like, "Okay, let's start an account. Let's do this, da da da." And she guided me with that knowledge.
Mm. Yeah. So tell us about growing up in Trinidad. Like, how did that culture influence your sound?
Well, I will always say I breed and bleed Caribbean music. I
Yeah.
was born
Yeah.
into soca, had great success with soca. Soca pretty much formed me, forged me, and built me up, developed me. All the skills that I have, all the patience and the impatience that I have is from being in soca, and that kind of gave me the setup to even move to Los Angeles. It was
Hmm.
based off of soca. I mean, even meeting to run was from soca. It was from a soca song, "Cheers to Life" by Voice. They wanted to remix
Yeah.
it, and they reached out. And since then, I mean, we're now friends. Me, Tiron, Timo, the whole team. So it's kind of soca that set everything up, to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So tell us what made you establish Precision Productions? Like, what was the how'd you get started there with that project?
So I want to believe there's a few things. My mom always was singing in my ears to be, hey, start building your credit with the bank, start building credit
Yeah.
with the bank. Because I was just, I mean, being a creative, we getting cash. Cash in, cash out,
Hmm.
no bank. So she's like, yo,
Right.
go and start building your credit with the bank because you'll need it later on. All right, cool. And I think when I went, I got denied for a loan. And it was a small, stupid loan, just to build credit. And they're like, no,
Right.
you don't pass any money through here. We have no track record of what you do. I think at the time I had $14 in my account. I mean, because I wasn't
Hmm.
passing any money through.
Right.
So
Right.
when I got denied, it was kind of like, okay, but I'm doing all these songs and working with all these big name artists and the bank denied me. So I had to fix something and I had to realize it was time to brand. It was time to set up
Mhm.
a business. Knew
Yeah.
nothing about it at that point. But yeah, that started the journey with learning what it takes to establish this brand or business. Because before it was just Kasey Phillips, the producer. Now it
Yeah.
had to be a brand, and we landed at Precision, and that's when the whole Precision train started. And it's born from getting denied. It's like, all right, I need to
Yeah.
do better, and I need to figure out what's going to help me set this up and have some structure so that I could never get denied again. And that was
Exactly.
really where that started.
And talk about because there's a lot of artists, producers, people that do music who really just do it for the love of music and don't understand there is a business side of it all. That's
Definitely.
how you protect yourself. That's how you protect your money. Can you talk a little bit
Exactly.
about the importance of that?
I mean, I feel like I have this conversation every week because I know a lot of creatives and they're very creative, but they
Yeah,
don't like dealing with money and they try to run away from it and they're always like, nah. And I'm like, but this is the foundation. This is the backbone of everything. It's
right.
extremely important. Luckily, I think I'm a hybrid. I wasn't really all the way on the creative side. I still in the middle with business and creative. So I think that
Yeah,
helped me figure out how to navigate this. But no, it's extremely important, especially contracts, accounts,
yeah,
billing, credit rating, having good credit with the bank, because the banks or the institutions that lend money or finance things help you build businesses, help you
mhm,
invest. So yeah, I think it's one of the most important things.
absolutely. So now you're living in LA. How was the move? How was it? How was that? I love LA, by the way, but how was it for you being in LA?
So I mean, I love LA now, and luckily we got a internship offer in 2010 for a year under
Mhm.
Drian Vidal. Shout out to Drian Vidal. And it kind of gave us a glimpse into what LA is, what the music scene is like, what this whole landscape is, because I had no idea. It's nothing.
Mhm.
And that was my glimpse into LA and seeing that. And I went back home, took things that I learned, built up the company. It took 5 years, 5-ish years, and came back. But that glimpse as well was like, I need to get back there. And it took me five
Yeah,
years. But moving here, I love it. It was, I had to readjust. I'm still learning a lot of the hip hop slangs and culture and those kind of things because I don't understand anything that the
right,
rappers are singing. Nothing.
right,
But
exactly.
I'm learning. It's a learning process. But
Yeah,
what I realize is that to produce hip hop and R&B and trap and rap, I have to immerse myself in the culture.
yeah.
There's no other way. There's no other way
So it
around
can
it.
be authentic. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
Now, with
yeah.
that, I kind of have to still dance the Caribbean
Hmm.
sound and try to figure out a way to blend and infuse it.
Yeah,
But yeah, the move has been interesting. I think it's one of the best things I ever did. I mean, especially now with the
right.
songs
Yeah,
that out. But
right.
yeah, it was interesting. It was an adjustment, but I think for me, LA resonated with me, and it worked. So it was never uncomfortable. It was never, man, I really don't want to be here. I really love being in LA. So yeah.
Yeah. So what made you know that LA was where you need to be? I know you said you had gone out there before in 2010, but what made you say, okay, I got to get back to LA. That's where I need to be.
So I mean, this answer might be funny. The move originally wasn't for music. It was just me getting away from Trinidad. It was
Mhm.
like it's time. I lived at home for years, never
Yeah,
lived on my own, and I was like, you know what? It's time to find a place that I could call my happy place. Started
yeah,
training, dieting. I was vegan for a year. All the California hippie stuff.
right.
So
Of
that
course.
really resonated with me, and I like that. And the added bonus or the sprinkle on top was music, film, and everything to do with that. So I was like, okay, cool. I think I had one
Yeah,
experience, two experiences actually, where I was here and I reached out to some artists to work on some Caribbean stuff, and they're like, yeah, Saturday. And had I been home, it would have never happened.
right.
One of the
Yeah,
one of the big businesses that I do, I use their products, and I was talking in talks with them, and I was in one of the meetings, and I asked them about another branch on their roster. I was like, hey, you think I could get blah blah blah? And he's like, oh, hold on. He stick his head out and he called somebody down the hall. I was like, you see, like this can't happen if I'm home. I have to
yeah.
be here. So all these little experiences was kind of validation to be like, yeah, you're in the right place.
That makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. Exactly. So let's talk about Sierra's new EP,
Yes,
Cece.
sir. Uh-huh.
You are one of the producers on there. I absolutely love How We Roll. How We
Right.
Roll. I love that song. How did you get involved in this project? Tell us how it all, how it started for you.
So I got involved because of Tehran,
Okay.
Ray, Timo, that whole team,
Yeah.
the R City team.
Yeah.
Um, I've been working with them for a while, and it's actually funny because we did a lot of soca stuff. right? So
Yeah.
they would do their hip hop stuff, R&B stuff here, and they will come and I'll do all the soca stuff. And I keep singing in Tehran's ear, like, yo, I really do hip hop, I really do R&B, you know. And he's like, oh, shucks, okay, cool. But I don't
Yeah.
know if it really registered until later down. And I think he was going in to work on Ciara's EP, and he sent all of us a message like, hey, going into work on this, executive producing this album. I need XYZ. This is the vision, this is the sound. Send me stuff. And I think at
Mm.
that time I was in Trinidad with my son, and I left
Yeah.
Trinidad, coming back here and I saying, damn, I need to figure out how to send these beats. I need just one on this project. One. One will change my
Right.
life. I just need one. And
Yeah.
now I have five.
Right.
But it was a process, and it was interesting. I mean, we've been waiting on this to come out for like 2 years.
Okay.
So we've been just sitting waiting. Okay, when is this coming out? When is this coming out?
You're waiting.
Yeah, so it's been a process. But that's how it
Yeah.
happened. It was the link through our city and the team.
Right. So now that it's out, like, the music is here. Like you've been waiting 2 years. Like, how
Well,
are you feeling now?
initially it was a little bittersweet. I'll be honest, because it was like, damn, we're
Yeah.
waiting on this for so long. But the
Right.
surprise was the Chris Brown. We didn't know Chris Brown was on it till like last
Oh,
minute.
okay.
So when
Okay.
that came, I was like, "Oh, this is about to be crazy." So I'm
Yeah.
still in it because it's fresh. It's still climbing. I
Right.
think we just
Yeah.
did top 25 urban, and it's still
Hmm.
moving. So I'm still in it. I'm still going through the experience as we speak.
Yeah. Well, congratulations on the project
Thank you,
and
man.
your place. I mean, that's dope. It's dope. What's next for you?
Well, I mean, with this EP, I mean, this is opening a lot more doors.
Yeah.
We kind of doing as much marketing and push as we could. I'm just trying to gain more rooms now that this has happened. I mean, the real goal for me would be for this to keep climbing the charts and get up there,
Right.
top 10, I would say. And yeah, it's just getting more rooms. We have more projects coming, more things lined up that I can't talk about yet. But
Right.
this is the one that kind of setting everything forward,
Yeah.
I would say.
And I can't even move from this project yet because we got to talk about some of the people you work with on here.
Okay.
Obviously, Ciara,
Right.
Chris Brown, Little Baby, Big Frida.
Yes, sir.
I mean,
It was, I mean, I couldn't ask for a better introduction or a better,
yeah,
what's the word? A better foot in the door. They all
yeah.
came, one shot. Here you go. Thank you. So,
Did you
no,
work
it's,
with
it's
them? Like,
crazy.
were you in the studio with them?
No, none of them.
Okay. Yeah,
Not
yeah,
yet, I would say.
yeah.
But again, I'm coming in as a new kid on the block. So
Right.
only a matter of time before we start getting in the rooms
Yeah.
with the artists.
But to hear their voices on your music, that has to be like, I did
No,
that. That's my project.
trust me, I had nights right here in the studio actually where I was
Yeah.
editing vocals, and I had to stop and be like, "That's Ciara
Am I doing
vocals you're editing, or not?" You sure?
it?
You
Yeah, yeah.
sure you know what you're doing? Because this ain't no Caribbean stuff anymore. And it was kind of mind blowing at times, and I just had to be like, all right, suck it up, let's go. I
Yeah.
can't really stop to think about that. But yeah, there were moments, there were moments for sure.
So when you get okay, we love it. We're moving forward with this. The edits are done. Everything's good to go. Did you know then? Okay. Did you feel like okay, we have a solid project? Like this is good.
Well, so the dope thing is I liked the project before I even worked on it because they had all these
Okay.
sketches and all these songs ready. I was like, oh, these sound
Yeah.
dope. So it's really now to come in and add little extra things and clean it
Yeah.
up. It was solid from the start. So
Yeah.
now that the world is hearing it and everybody is agreeing with what I thought, is amazing.
Right.
But I liked it. I'm a fan of the songs. Even the ones that I didn't
Yeah.
work on, I think I told Ciara, I was like, yo, Be Right Back is kind of my favorite song. I didn't work on it, but that's kind of my favorite track. So
Yeah.
I'm a fan of the EP myself.
Yeah. That's dope. Well, listen, I want to congratulate you on all the great things you're doing and the success of this project. Where
Thank
can
you, man.
everyone keep up with everything you have going on?
On all social media platforms, Precision Productions, my personal Instagram, Kasey underscore Kasey, Kasey. Yeah, that'll be the easiest way to find everything. And yeah, we have more stuff coming soon.
I know the best is yet to come. That's my saying.
Exactly.
The best is yet to
We just getting started.
come. Yes, sir. Well, listen, our thanks go out to Kasey Phillips for joining us tonight. For more information, go to our website, thestevenknightshow.com, and we'll be right back after this.